One of the most important moments in Chinese history was not a battle, not a rebellion, and not the fall of a dynasty. It was a conversation between a failed warlord and an unemployed strategist that quietly changed the direction of an entire era. This story is known as Three Visits to the Thatched Cottage, and it comes from Romance of the Three Kingdoms. But today, I want to tell you this story in a way that makes sense to a modern audience, because what really happened here was not a legendary tale of humility. It was one of the most important job interviews in history. By the early 3rd century, China was falling apart. The Han Dynasty was collapsing. Regional warlords were carving up territory, and constant warfare had turned the country into chaos. Two men stood out. The first was Cao Cao, powerful, ruthless, and already winning. He controlled the emperor, commanded massive armies, and looked like the inevitable future of China. The second was Liu Bei. Liu Bei had almost nothing. He had no stable land, no reliable army, and no record of victory. What he did have was charisma, reputation, and an unusual ability to make people believe in him. But belief alone doesn't win wars. Liu Bei needed something more. He needed a plan. That's when he heard about a man living quietly in the countryside, Zhuge Liang. Today, Zhuge Liang is remembered as a near-mythical genius, a man who could predict the future, outthink every enemy, and manipulate nature itself. But at the time, he was young. He had no official position, no army, no power. In modern terms, Zhuge Liang was a brilliant strategist with no company to join. And here's the key detail people often miss. Zhuge Liang was not waiting to be recruited. He was waiting for the right offer. Liu Bei went to visit him. Zhuge Liang wasn't home. Most warlords would have taken this as an insult and never returned. Liu Bei did. The second visit, still no meeting. At this point, Liu Bei's generals were furious. One of them essentially asked, "Why are we, battle-hardened commanders, bowing to a nobody in a hut?" But Liu Bei insisted. He went a third time. Only then did Zhuge Liang agree to meet. And what happened next was not a discussion about tactics or battles. It was a conversation about vision. Zhuge Liang was blunt. He told Liu Bei the truth no one else dared to say. "You are weak. You cannot defeat Cao Cao head-on. Not now. Possibly not ever." Instead of promising miracles, he laid out a long-term strategy now known as the Longzhong Plan. First, secure a stable base far from Cao Cao's control. Second, build strength slowly and patiently. Third, form alliances instead of chasing quick victories. And only then, wait for the right moment. In modern language, he was saying, don't try to beat the market leader tomorrow. Survive first, scale later. This was not advice designed to flatter. It was advice designed to test. And Liu Bei listened. He didn't argue. He didn't interrupt. He accepted the reality of his weakness. That moment mattered more than any promise, because Zhuge Liang wasn't deciding whether Liu Bei deserved his loyalty. He was deciding whether Liu Bei deserved his trust. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Zhuge Liang could have joined Cao Cao. Cao Cao had power. Cao Cao had resources. Cao Cao offered guaranteed success. But success was not what Zhuge Liang wanted. With Cao Cao, he would be a tool. With Liu Bei, he could be a partner. Cao Cao wanted execution. Liu Bei wanted direction. And so Zhuge Liang chose uncertainty over certainty, influence over safety, and vision over victory. That choice led to the creation of the Kingdom of Shu and turned Liu Bei from a perpetual loser into a real contender in the three kingdoms. So this story isn't really about humility. It's about alignment. Talent does not choose the strongest leader. Talent chooses the leader who listens. And sometimes, the quietest meeting in history can matter more than 1,000 battles.